Greetings and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Wrath, and today we're going to be doing a quick video on how to control your ship while maneuvering in close proximity or in long maneuvers towards other objects. So for today, this is a continuation off of my fresh start video that I did, which is the short version. And what you can see is that we're picking up right off after that. And sorry, I get really kind of like scatterbrained here, but we're picking up where we left off. So we have two derelicts that are within 3 and 9 kilometers of us. We've hooked up our life pod as a sort of caboose that we're going to be dragging around behind us, so that when we leave this area we don't have to ever come back. We abandoned the docking module, and now we're going to go towards these derelicts so that we can salvage what's on them, hopefully get a full EVA suit, and get moving. So first is we're going to go ahead and line up towards these, and we're going to use the left shift key to kill our rotation, and then we're going to just ever so slightly give it a few seconds of forward thrust from our RCS before we cut everything off. And the reason for this is that you do not need to constantly thrust in this. This uses Newtonian physics, so for every second that you're giving forward thrust, you will have to spend that much time braking in order to reduce your speed. Now we're going to use some tricks, and I'm going to try and explain the indicators that you can see on your screen. Now I've put together a whole suggestions post to the devs about things that they need to change on this, because you need to have a lot more data. But again, the long video that I did, which is about an hour long, which covered both the stuff that we had in the short video prior to this and the maneuvering here. That video went over a lot of that, so I'm not going to rehash any of that. The indicators show relative speeds, trajectories, and other information that will help you, but honestly, it's all pretty garbage. The two numbers you need to watch are the one on the right here and the one on the bottom. Those show relative speeds. The center indicator shows sort of best way I can describe it is an intercept guide. Because it's showing you, I mean, it's hard for me to determine exactly what it shows because of the fact that it's not all that good. So we're trying to control our speed as we approach. And one of the things is RCS, once you start moving in a direction, you keep moving in that direction. So you want to just kind of give it a little bit of taps here and there so that you can try and watch your lateral motion, which is, I think, is the right number. That's showing you how fast you're moving in relation to the object side to side, whereas the bottom number is showing how fast you are approaching it. But again, these the indicators that they show are really pretty poor. So we're gonna try and match all of the velocity and everything. So and like I said, little bursts, little short bursts. We're going to get in close enough and slow enough that we can match velocity with this, so that it'll be safe to actually get out and go salvage stuff. A lot of times you can skip the matching if you have a teammate with you who can go out and do the salvaging while you're working to keep your ship in position. And we're going to wait just a few seconds so that we can get even closer. 34, 33. Okay, so we've matched velocities. We're now in the exact same orbital path as this object, so we can get out of our controls. And always, before you go running out, because this will get you in trouble, check your oxygen levels. I can't stress that enough. Check your oxygen, because it's a big stinking deal. Now we lucked out on this ship because we've got a lot of really good parts. So I'm really happy with this particular fresh start. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shut the inner door. We're going to start depressurizing. Go on, depressurize. Alright. And always remember that, come on, depressurize. It's lagging, so we're going to put our helmet on now. Sound effects are not working either, apparently. It's another bug. It's alpha, but we can wait until the atmosphere reaches 0.5, and then we have to put our helmet on, because that's when the atmosphere becomes not so great. But that'll help us preserve some of the air that's in our suit so that we don't have to frickin' worry about running out of oxygen while we're searching. Okay, so air's out, open the door, T for RCS on, and let's go exploring. Now your suit also comes with lights, and you may need to use them in this environment. And again, try to approach slowly so that you do not crash into this thing, because if you hit something at a fast enough speed, you will get hurt. Alright, so let's get this here. Rotate. Oh, it looks like there's 2 rifles over there. That might be worthwhile. Alright, so and there's some ammo up top, so we'll grab that first, the ammo. Looks like some standard ammo. There's 3 types of ammo so far in the game. There's this Alt Corp ammo, which works for these rifles. We're going to take one of those now. And then there is Railgun Assault Rifle ammo and Railgun Sniper Rifle ammo. Okay, let's open this up. Anything in there? Nope. Okay. Nothing in that one. Anything in here? Oh, there's something. Nope. There's a whole lot of nada in there. Not surprising. Alright, so let's go down to this one here. Whole lot of nada there. Let's check the cupboards here. Nothing. Okay, so this one was kind of a bust. Take a quick look around for anything else that might be floating around in here. Let's hit V to turn on our headlamps here. So we can probably pick up that other rifle in a second here. Let's see here. But yeah, it doesn't... Oh, wait, what are you? Oh, there's something up there. Oh, it's a catalyst. Oh, we definitely want that. That's another part for our reactor. And having those, you can never have too many of those. I was hoping that we would have another part for the EVA suit in here, but beggars can't be choosers. Yeah. You win some, you lose some. Maybe the other derelict will have some, but since it's here, we're going to take this other rifle, because we can carry 2 of those. Alright, we're going to come out here, and then we're going to do a quick once-over of the outside of this thing, just because I've never really checked to see if there's any components or anything plugged in on the outside of these that maybe we can make use of. Anything there? Doesn't look like it. Doing a quick once over that glowy thing. Also, not something we can do anything with. A quick flyby here. See if there's any salvageable parts. And does not look like it. Okay, so we've given that sucker the once over. And again, you can see we're towing our life pod behind us. The lag is real. The lag is real. Hold on. Reverse thrust. Reverse thrust. Keep firing, assholes. Alright. Alright, so we're going to go in here. We're going to shut the door. And we're going to get back into our little space wagon here and move on. So this ship that we have is basically a tugboat. So you're going to repressurize. So don't expect a whole lot of great things out of it, but the fact that it can tow things around is really good for us. Okay, so we can open up our helmet now, because we've got more than 0.5. Okay, open the inner door, and descent. Always be mindful of these when you're changing into a gravity environment. Turn our headlamp off, because if you're not careful, you will fall on your face. Alright, so there we go. So let's put our rifles away. So we got two sweet little rifles. So now we're all full on those, which is nice. I feel safe and protected. We've got 2 extra things of ammo, so we'll go ahead and put those. And actually, I'm going to take these 2 here. I don't know, my inner OCD nerd is saying that I have to have one side fully filled up. So alright, so that's closed off. We've got that set. We did not get any additional parts for our suit, for an EVA suit, which is unfortunate. And that catalyst we got is kind of second. It'll do as a nice emergency reserve, but probably not the best. We've got much better ones in the ship already, in the actual reactor, but we'll save them for now. We'll open that up. Oh, come on, open. The lag. Lag. Open. Let's try you. Open. Ah, forget it. Drop them. I'm not caring. If those 2 parts fall through the floor, I just don't care. Speaking of things magically falling through the floor, let's get these guys set up so that just in case we have them already set up. So stick that on there. Thank you. And put you back. Pick you up. And mount it on there. And store. Just having things locked down makes me feel better. Okay. Now this thing works. Okay. So 1. This is the 35, so that's the one that we want to keep. This is the junk one, and we're just going to throw that over here. We'll make a garbage pile. And eventually, if we ever blow out the airlock, all that stuff will go flying out. Not that I ever intend to do that, because that's really stupid. You shouldn't ever blow out this room, because this is where you access your resources. And if you blow this room out, then you will be making a dead space in your ship in the one place where you need... What the... Wait. What just happened? I just lost my backpack. Okay. That just happened. Be mindful of the bugs. They will try to kill you. Fortunately, we've got a spare up here. We've got a couple spares up here, so we'll take this one. What? Okay. Yeah, we need to relog. Okay. Log out. That was a thing. So you want to basically repeat the same process on your other derelict and gather whatever supplies you can. Hopefully you'll be able to get a full EVA suit as a spare to use whenever you're going to be doing something for long periods of time in space. Like if you're going to go mining, or if you're going to be maneuvering ships or components to dock with each other, then it really is in your best interest at that point to have your vessel have your EVA suit, because you can be out there for long periods of time. I think you can be out there for like over an hour with the EVA suit. So you definitely have much more time in the full EVA suit than you do in these little pressure suits. But in an emergency, if you get thrown out in a EVA suit, like if you get glitched and thrown into space in an EVA suit, let's take the helmet off since we've got okay. So we've gotten our pack back here, and what we were trying to do was refill it. But if you get thrown into space with a glitch and you have an EVA suit on, chances are you won't have your helmet with you, and you will die. So we'll put that on there. Now, one of the cool things is that because we have this, we can access the cargo of our little base station that we're tugging around behind us. So we're going to take about half the reserve oxygen and half the RC, the jetpack fuel from there, and move it over to our ship here and use that to refuel our backpack. That way we don't have to keep pulling fuel out of our oxygen generator. Alright, so once that's done, take it back and see it's totally refueled. Hold on. Yep, there we go. So let's get going and let's go. I'm going to go ahead and try to do both of the derelicts in this one video here. So for the next video, we're going to actually start looking at warping to other locations and raiding a few other derelicts or ships if we can find them, and how to find things. So we've got the other derelict targeted. So we're going to, and that was an interesting thing to happen there. So gonna zero out that motion here. And forward, Jeeves. So now we're going to use the exact same process of giving ourselves a little bit of a thrust, just enough to get going, and then we're going to back off all the controls and just sit and wait and watch how this develops. When you've got this arrow indicator, you want to actually be thrusting in the opposite direction that it's pointing. So it's pointing down and slightly to the left, so I want to thrust upward. If it will stop lagging on me here, I want to thrust upward and to the right to try and null it out, and then I'm going to try and reverse my engines a little bit because we are, oh no, I'm looking at the wrong, I was looking at the wrong indicator. We've got a ways to go. And you'll notice the longer the tail gets on that arrow indicator, the more thrust you need in those given directions in order to align your path. Keep in mind though that if you're aligning your path so that that indicator disappears, you're on a collision course, because it means that you're going to be flying straight, your path is going to take you straight through where that object is. So, you know, try not to do that would be my recommendation. A good pilot will be able to get you going with that without crashing you, because they're aware of their forward momentum, and they'll be able to watch the distance and bring you into a relatively good stop close to the object without crashing into it. The other thing is, don't turn your view all that much, because even though you turn your view, your momentum does not change. So if I turn my view up to point at that, I'm still flying in the direction my ship is pointing, only now I don't have the ability to directly counter that thrust without turning my ship back to point that way. Instead, I'm thrusting in random directions, and I'm not actually nulling out my velocity as I want to be. So you want to first get in close like this and let it drift a little bit off. You can use your upward thrust or something to try and force yourself into a closer position with it. And see, I've actually made it so I'm going to be passing this thing in a bad way. I'm going to be zipping over the top of it. But now we're at 1 kilometer, so I'm going to back off the thrust hard and watch our approach speed. We're still approaching very fast. Slow down. And I'm going to thrust down as well and try and get us on almost a collision course. Alright. You want to be thrusting early rather than late, because late thrusting is panic thrusting. Alright, so we're... See, now you see that it's actually drifting down because it already had that momentum. So now we're drifting a little bit away. That's what those little brackets on the outside of the marker means, is that I'm moving away. Now it says I'm moving towards it, even just by a little. And so we're going to close distance with it. Alright, so again we're moving into position. And give it a little more forward thrust and a little bit more upward thrust, because that's going to put us towards it. So now we can actually turn our ship towards the target, because we've nulled out most of our relative velocities. So we can now face this thing and just thrust towards it, because we're not flying off at a weird angle.
Oh God, quit saying thrust.
My wife is making fun of me and maniacally cackling. Alright, so again we're going to try to reduce our speed so that we can come up right along with this thing, and then use the match velocity to get a stable position. Okay. Okay. Let's get a little bit closer. Alright, basically it's not letting us do it now because we're moving too fast. Okay, match velocity. Alright, 46 meters. That's not bad. Alright, so we're in a good spot. We're going to go ahead and salvage our supplies here. So again, double check. Always double check before you go out. Plenty of oxygen. Okay. Don't know how many times that'll stop you, where you'll get out, you'll put your mask on, and you'll suddenly realize that you have no air. Inner door, depressurize, and as you've seen with the previous videos, you want to mitigate the amount of, mitigate meaning reduce the amount of resources that you're using, because you do have limited resources and you need to preserve as much as you can. So, and that even means waiting until half pressure to close your mask. Now, these little things will save you a lot of resources down the line, so that you're not suddenly going, well, I've got no oxygen, no nitrogen, no nothing. Okay? Oh, 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 oh. And left shift is your friend. There's like a little loading seam right there at the edge of the docking port that's basically loading you into the 0G environment in space from the inside of your ship. So you'll always experience like a little bit of a lag bump when you're transitioning through that doorway, so be prepared for it. Shut up. Oh, my wife is killing me. She's making jokes in the background that are they're very sinister little jokes. Alright, so we're getting in here. Let's see what we can find. Let's turn our light on. Nothing there. That's no good. Anything in this panel over here? Nope. So basically we've just got this space over here. And, oh god, that's blinding. Bad sun. Bad star. Okay, and ooh, an EVA suit. Now we've got the helmet, we don't have the backpack, but, you know, we'll make do with whatever we can find here. Nothing in either of those. And, ooh, that's a good thing right there. That's a hacking tool. This is why you search all of this stuff before you go anywhere, because you never know what you might get. Was there any additional ammo or parts in here? No, so it's just the suit. So we'll take it because, like I said, these things are invaluable, but only under certain conditions. You don't want to like plan to only have these, but you definitely want to. Oops. Where did I park? Oh, there I am. You definitely want to take the time to make sure that you get one, because when you need one, nothing else will do. So that's got us at about 25 minutes, and that'll wrap up this episode, which will just be the salvaging episode. So this gets us pretty much back through the end of the, turn our lamp off here, through the end of the previous long version of this video that I did, which again, if you want to see that, the link to that video will be in the description, either of this or the previous. We're gonna toss that so we can repressurize, of the previous video, so we can go over. You can go over that if you want, like the full, long, detailed, drawn-out video, which is fine. Until then, we're gonna get this back in. Our next video is going to be on orbital maneuvering, which is basically your FTL drive. So how to use your FTL drive, how to navigate and find things in the space of Hellion. So tune back in for that, and we will give you some tips and tricks and how to crush other people's dreams. Until next time, I'm Wrath. Have a good one.